All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, a fight where Terence Crawford has called out Errol Spence Jr. and Errol Spence Jr. has given him the gas face. Thank goodness. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division, where it has been implied by Errol Spence Jr. that he will be back in April for a fight, and we know who it is not going to be against. But more importantly than that, Errol Spence Jr. has said something. Communicated something about something to Terence Crawford that I think is pretty interesting, which is absolutely nothing. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber or a new subscriber or supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It is absolutely positively essential to the channel and greatly appreciated. Like my guy, John Bowie. Happy New Year's to you, John Bowie. Thank you for most definitely being the absolute one of the top guys that have ever supported this channel. Thank you so much for always being in the live streams and supporting, and the way that and along with everybody else who supports in the super chats and the cash apps and in the super thanks of videos like this, like Mr. Pragmatic has been doing. Thank you, Mr. Pragmatic. Thank you guys so much for a great year 2022, and we look forward to doing great things, or at least having great conversations in the year 2023. One of the things, however, that I hope we do not talk about all year is the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight, which apparently is not going to be taking place anytime soon. But interestingly enough, Errol Spence Jr., the reaction is something that may actually make the fight take place. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Errol Spence has just recently said that he is going to, he put the word April XX in his Twitter feed, right? Which, you know, we all know how this goes right now. He's saying April for a reason. April is more than likely going to be when he announces the fight that he has. And that fight is more than likely going to be against Keith Thurman. I don't care what any of y'all say. I like that Keith Thurman fight. And I know that a whole bunch of, PBC, and I'm calling y'all what y'all are. Not a lot of y'all, not Terence Crawford fans. If you guys were Terence Crawford fans, there would have been no problem getting the Errol Spence Terence Crawford fight, because he'd have had a track record of selling a lot of pay-per-views and having a lot of fanfare behind him. But what we have in boxing is we have a lot of naysayers out there that are always trying to look for somebody to use to attack certain other fighters. And we've seen it throughout all of boxing history. A whole lot of people were Joe Frazier, go Joe Frazier, go Joe Frazier, go Joe Frazier, until after the Ali fights, at which point in time they could care less about him, right? Just kind of how that works, right? You have somebody like every fighter. Matter of fact, after Floyd Mayweather Jr. beat Oscar De La Hoya, every fighter that Floyd Mayweather Jr. Fought got that treatment, that he was the man. Oh yeah, come on, Virgil Ortiz, we're a big fan of yours. Robert Guerrero, we're big fans of yours. Manny Pacquiao, we're big fans of yours. Even though Manny Pacquiao did have a lot of Filipino fans, but right after losing to Floyd Mayweather Jr., a lot of that stuff fell off. Right. So in the case of Terence Crawford, I think that's what we have a lot of. And that was shown with his not too good pay-per-view showing against David Avenetian, right? And again, this is a boxing channel where we talk about what's going on, man. I'm sharing my opinion. I don't believe any PR.com 120,000 pay-per-view list, pay-per-view buys thing that came out a week after BLK Prime issued their statement with no numbers in it at all. But regardless, Errol Spence Jr. is going to be fighting in April more than likely. And so there's a bunch of people trying to say, I'm so disappointed that he's going to not fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford himself had said, hey, I can't wait to spin the block, right? And start negotiations again. And what have we heard from Errol Spence Jr. about Terence Crawford ever since then? Absolutely nothing. Not a word. Not a word about Terence. Not a word about, after I get rid of this WBC mandatory, then I want to go back and fight Terence. All we've seen from Errol Spence Jr. really was him standing in a seat not far behind Derrick James while Derrick James was talking about the damage that Terence Crawford has done to trying to make that fight by going out there to BLK Prime and having his pay-per-views be, what you expected in that particular situation, but at the same time, abysmal, because what you do get is what you sell is what you sell. And you can, like I said, you can have 120,000 pay-per-view buys. You can say that on PR.com, but they're not going to believe that. They're going to want to see they want to actually know how many tickets you sold, how much pay-per-views you did. And they're going to look at it and say, okay, well, that's how much you're worth, right? How much you are worth, what the revenue that is brought in a fight, not the revenue somebody paid you, right? If somebody wanted to just write a check and say, hey, I want to pay you $30 million to come fight David Avanesyan, and they pay you $30 million to fight Avanesyan, but you generate $2 million in revenue between your pay-per-views and your gate. They don't care about the $30 million check that they wrote to you. They care about how much money they can make in a fight with you. So where are your gate receipts and what are your pay-per-view buys, right? What are your foreign television rights, or what are your, what is your whatever, right? Whatever streams of revenue that you have, what are they? What are the numbers? And then from there, we can decide, we'll see, what we believe your actual worth is. And if you wind up being in a situation like Terence Crawford is, it's going to be hard for Errol to sell to the PBC that we need to do that, and definitely not pay him $20 million, the $30 million or whatever it is that he's looking to make out of the fight, because it just seems like, look, no, man, you're an opponent in this particular situation. However, that said, if Errol Spence Jr. is not saying anything about him, and Terence has to go off and fight a couple other more guys, and then, people, because no one's really pushing this fight between Errol and Terence, they may not be willing to give him those big upfront paydays and all of that stuff, because people are not going to, because you can't sell it on the back of an Errol Spence Jr. fight. You got to sell it. You got to sell it just on the strength of Terence Crawford. And you see, even selling that fight with David Avanesyan on the back of an Errol Spence Jr. fight didn't help the numbers. So that may actually, at the end of the day, bring Terence Crawford around to the negotiation table in a way where he's willing to be reasonable in what and actually make the fight, right? But anyway, that's my take on it. I like the silence by Errol Spence Jr. in this regard, because like Terence Crawford said, let's have these negotiations out in public next time. Man, how does that benefit Errol? How does that benefit anybody other than dang near guaranteeing that the fight doesn't happen? So anyway, silence is probably golden in this regard. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.